What a high-quality event for everybody involved. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be up here. Whenever I speak at an event, and I spoke at an event a couple of weeks ago for multi-academy trust CEOs and CFOs, I like to make some notes on the previous speakers first to try and distill out what's relevant to maybe my speech. And I picked out something from everybody. So Professor Jill, who started off, talked about upskilling herself throughout her career as those opportunities emerged, and that's something that links to what I'm going to be talking about and is relevant to you guys. I'm sure you made some notes as well. Then Dr. Ben Silverstone really enjoyed his speech. He talked about who we want to be rather than what we do, and obviously what we enjoy and what lights us up. And we agree with that in the career space, and we've now moved into primary space to drive those personal passions from early days, which is a new wave in the career space. And I would move it on to say, actually, in the longer-term future, actually, at a party in the future in 20 years' time, you won't at all ask somebody, what do you do? Instead, we'll be at a stage where you'll ask the question, well, what do you love doing? What do you love doing, whether it was rock climbing or deep water swimming, whatever it is. That's the stage we're going to be. Also, Dr. Ben Silverstone talked about enabling technologies. That's very much linked to my presentation today. And then he also talked about creativity. Where is Ben? Is he somewhere out there? Right here, right in front of me. And we'll push back on you about whether AI can be creative. NVIDIA right now's latest chips, GPUs, are actually being designed by AI predominantly. And there's lots of other examples. So I think you and I will pick up a great conversation on LinkedIn quite soon. I'm not a big fan, but we've got to know what the reality is, and that's my research into this space. Next, we also talked about the breadth of knowledge and understanding, much more important than overly narrow focus. Breadth of understanding of the real world, particularly in this world where now information can be generated personally for you that looks and sounds absolutely authentic, but perhaps at times isn't. Deborah talked about, having passions, and she said it's not just about physics and maths. At Ford, she had to learn about people, and that's to do again with what I'm talking about today, about human intelligence. Ultimately, post the transition we're going to see over the next 2, 5, 10, 20 years, well in the lifetime. In fact, at the beginning of a reception child now, they don't come out until 17 years' time, the kids starting reception now. So absolutely, human intelligence ultimately is far more important than artificial intelligence. But we've got to understand the reality of the actual technology that is out there, or we're in big trouble. So enabling technologies, I fully support that as well. And also, I think, Deborah, you talked about your career. You show those different stages. I know that Ford has been mentioned a number of times, but they were never the end of the process, were they, for everybody, whether it's Brompton Bikes or wherever it was. So poor Ford there. I'm sure they're doing some great things, and you can use them in your career. But yours very squiggly careers. No one knows which way it's going, and that's the exciting thing to be. And Ben said that at the beginning, saying it's great not to know, and I totally, wholeheartedly support that. Oba, you talked about you need to move now. And that's a great quote and links exactly to what my message is today. We need to be aware of the challenge that you face and the opportunity you face right now, which is profound and exciting and enthralling and terrifying. And then Jan talked about the Brompton bicycles, talking about problem solving, purpose and core values. And he also talked about having, the average workplace is sort of 35 years long. So he's finishing me off because I've done 25 years in teaching already. So I've only got 10 left. So that was a bit disappointing to hear that you're rushing me out of my time as a professional. And then Phil at the end, who's our second compere for tonight, talked about critical thinking and asking key questions. That's never going to be more important than in the future, as I said, in this world where anything can be faked at incredible level of sophistication. And finally, we heard from Ikra there, from Triumph. And your communication skills are fantastic. The clarity of your voice is one of the best I've ever heard. It's so clear. I don't know if you all got that in the audience. It was so easy and effortless to hear every intonation, wasn't it? And so clear communication skills is also going to be absolutely essential within that. So with that, hopefully you'll spot some of those links in my presentation. Okay, can we go with the slides? Great. So what I'm talking about today is preparing for perma-change. And also, in fact, Ben, you talked about change being ever-present. Change is the only constant, right? And it's right. But as you also said correctly, the speed of the change is absolutely profound. And that's the biggest challenge. It's not adapting. We're amazing at doing that. But the speed at which we need to adapt is something new. So I don't know much about advanced manufacturing and technology and engineering, but I'm going to quote a few people who do know quite a bit about it. I'm going to start with Elon Musk. Now, you may not love, I suspect a number of you do not love his politics, but I'm not talking about his politics. If you look at his resume in terms of engineering and design, we have Tesla, we have SpaceX, Neuralink, the Boring Company, and XAI. And Carol Vorderman, who's no fan of Elon Musk, said just this morning, as much as I loathe Musk's politics, witnessing the super heavy rocket booster caught in midair brought her to tears. So actually Elon does, if we just put politics to aside and think about his engineering know-how, his knowledge of technology, he knows quite a bit. And this very week he said this.
Where are we on AI right now, AGI, and what are your views?
Well, I think at this point it's obvious to everyone that AI is advancing at a very rapid pace.
Yes.
You can see it with the new capabilities that come out every month or every week sometimes. And the rate at which we're increasing AI compute is hyper-exponential. So there's dramatically more AI compute coming online every month. The amount of AI compute coming online is increasing at roughly 500% a year. And then the sophistication of the AI algorithms is also improving. So yeah, it's advancing very rapidly. The reality of what's happening, whether one likes it or not, is that we're building super intelligent AIs, hyper intelligent, like more intelligent than we can comprehend. And really a remarkable time to exist. So, and like I'm telling you, this is going to be smarter than the smartest human.
That can be quite a distressing thing to consider. So we've been studying this space at the Arthur Terry Learning Partnership for 24 months, way before the government held its, safety summit at Bletchley Park. 18 months before that, we were thinking about this space, recognizing the tsunami that is approaching all of us. And we came up with a program called the Futures Readiness Program, which is a preparedness framework of skills and attributes, characteristics and values that we believe help young people, but guess what, and adults, to be ready as best they can for some future agency. There's going to be significant challenge on that. Was it okay if you just keep the slides on there? So that'd be great. So then also, it's preparing for unprecedented acceleration to that. So we came up with this model alongside Dr. Shane McLaughlin from the University of Birmingham, the Jubilee Centre for Characteristics and Values. And I'm going to just show you 5 top tips today, 5 aspects of the program that we've come up together to prepare young people there. So the first one is the large one. Don't worry, I won't be spending a lot of time on the final 3. I'll be much quicker on that. But the first one is probably the most important right now. Not in the long term, but in the short term, and it is upskilling. I don't know if you can see it there very clearly, but it says a continuous upskilling and with digital literacy and AI tool capabilities. So in other words, staying abreast of the capabilities in the models and the associated tools is going to be key. Now, here's some research from the Institute for Public Policy research body, and it was called Transform by AI. It came out in March of this year, and it confirmed that AI is already transforming knowledge work, so cognitive work there. And the study, one of the empirical studies was by the Boston Consulting Group along with Harvard Business School, and it showed that consultants who used generative AI, at the time it was ChatGPT-4, completed 12% more tasks, 25% times faster, with a 40% increase in quality. So if you like, it's your PwCs and your Accentures and your EYs, your BDOs, all these kind of consultancies, they are already embracing that. So for example, PwC invested significant amount of money in buying a ChatGPT subscription for the enterprise model for every member of their staff. They didn't do a training in it. They didn't do a training module in it. You didn't learn how to use PowerPoint from a lesson from your teacher. It's the same with AI. You have to explore and experiment. You can't even do that if you don't know what's happening. And so the authors of this report, it's a very fantastic report, I recommend you look at it, concluded that looking ahead, we see very rapid adoption of technologies more capable and more widely applied than previous iterations, and that the world of knowledge work in just a few years could well be transformed. And that doesn't mean necessarily loss of jobs, but it can be reduction in recruitment, and it can also be disruption to how we do work. So upskilling, constantly relearning is going to be key. A second example from just this very month, and it's very rigorously, empirically valid data, 5,000 different coders from Microsoft and also Accenture and one other Fortune 100 company, they managed to demonstrate that using, this time it was a co-coding coding tool called GitHub Copilot, and the staff who used that tool were 26% more productive than the other members of staff doing the same roles who weren't. They weren't trained in it. Here's the tool, play with it, see what use case works, see what doesn't, and then augment your capabilities using these tools. Okay, so let's just do a quick fire to see who's doing it there. Hands up if you recognize that logo, please. Okay, let me see how many hands are really nice and high so I can see. I can see about 10 people. 10 people. Let's go over across to, can you shout out that student there? Midjourney, awesome. Do you use Midjourney? You had to play with it. What do you think? What do you think of Midjourney? Slow for you. You're not happy with the products? Okay, well, I would encourage you to have a play with Midjourney. Anyone else have a different understanding of Midjourney version 6, 7, I think it's out now? Well, actually, they produce unbelievable quality of imagery that is indistinguishable. My daughter studies GCSE photography, and she won the award at her school for the best photography competition. Every single image was generated through Midjourney, and she had to educate the teacher that, unfortunately, these images were designed through prompting and reprompting and tweaking. And she admitted that. She also makes incredible DSLR photographs, but also the teacher wasn't even aware of that technology and how it was outstanding, indistinguishable. Okay, Udio. Who's used Udio out here? Not a single hand up. Unbelievable. This is what I mean. If you don't even know what the tools are, how do you know about the capabilities? Will.i.am uses this. Will.i.am is using this technology all the time. He calls it super creatives, further enhance their creativity by playing with Udio. I can make any track in any genre and any style with any lyrics I want in 2 minutes. I can regenerate parts of it, previous parts of it. It's unbelievable technology. You should have a play. It's free. GitHub Copilot, I mentioned, and Cursor, that's 2 coding tools, extremely powerful. The other day, basically, where the position is now, essentially these tools are as good as about 80% of coders already. So the top 20%, guess what? Their career is going to be, their remuneration, how much they're going to be paid is going to be even higher. And actually what these tools are doing are actually lifting the sort of ordinary level worker to a higher platform. They're not really extending the elite of the elite, the best of the best. It's interesting. It's actually making outcomes a little bit more equitable. Perplexity. Who uses Perplexity? I'm sure some of the university professors are using Perplexity here. It's the number one, thank you at the back, number one most authoritative tool to use for live research data to find the sources of current research, and absolutely students should be using that. Our EPQ students use Perplexity to ensure the rigor and the sort of crap testing, if you like, or authenticity of their sources. So absolutely, this is what I mean. And obviously, a range of large language models, right? Whether you're going to, that's just a few, there's plenty more. You can use Metas, you can use Anthropics, you can use ChatGPT-4 from OpenAI, there's many others, Minstrel and others. So the chief commercial officer of IBM said that AI years, he coined this term just a few months ago in the summer, he came up with the term AI years. And what AI years means is what used to take a year now is simply 1 week. 1 week. And he's right. That's how fast. He said it's moving, and he also added that it's still speeding up. Similarly, Mark Matheo, who is the Senior Vice President for Salesforce, they're doing a lot in terms of agentic AI at the moment, he says that AI innovation changes not by the week, but by the day, by the hour, by the minute, and not a single day passes where what was yesterday is not almost obsoleted. This is fast. This is, some say, exponential fast. So let me just give you an example. What's happened the last 2 weeks? By the way, my students across our trust at 24 schools already know about these tools. They already know about the capabilities. They know about the risks. They also know about the potential. So we're really proud of what we're doing. OpenAI Advanced Voice Mode is live, instant, no pauses between it, and can do multi-MFL mock conversations with your students. Live, we demonstrated that last week, instant translations with 140 languages in the world. My father's an Arabic speaker, and we role modeled that and showed the capabilities to the students. Incredible. I demonstrated empirical research which shows that these tools are now more persuasive than psychologists in moving people with extreme views. Empirical research. And I can see some of you thinking, not sure. Unless you play, unless you keep up to date with the technology, there'll always be pessimism aversion. I'm going to give an example of that from my own tool used in a moment, which I used last night. Who's played with, who must have been this, who's been all over social media, Notebook LM, Google's Notebook LM. Well, all the Arthur Cherry students should know that, because what it is an unbelievable piece of technology where academics should use this. So, for example, if I've got a massive postgraduate series of very heavy PDFs, you can pop it in as an undergrad, and it will break down the essence of the key PDFs into a 10-minute introductory podcast that actually is to the point and on point. So I teach A-level politics. I've done that for 15 years. We've achieved some outstanding outcomes. It's better than me distilling the essence of 6 different resources I've designed over years for students instantly. Please check it out. It's free. It's unbelievable. You only use it as a task, a topic consolidation, or a topic introduction. So my students had this very complex undergraduate level task, too complex for them. So I said, pop it in as the introductory first as a pre-listen before you read the text. So it helps them to access that. It's astonishing, actually, that you don't know that, because these things have only happened every 2 weeks, and every week something else comes out. It's that fast. OpenAI's O1 model. Who knows the capabilities of O1? O1 has outcomes at PhD level in chemistry, physics, biology, and it's about 83% in the Olympiad maths competition now in terms of novel, unseen challenges. This is moving fast. And this is the first piece of technology that doesn't think, but it processes in multi-stage thinking and works backwards to make plans and outcomes. And finally, another one that came out in the last 2 weeks is ChatGPT's Canvas tool. I used it last night. I'm proud I've been teaching for 25 years. I'm proud that it's my purpose. I'm proud I've worked with amazing young people and still work with amazing young people. I'm good at a few things in life, not very much. I like to think I'm a decent dad. I've got 4 children. I like to think I've been a brilliant teacher. That's the only thing that I feel there's been my gifting in my life. And I was good at rugby when I was younger. That's essentially it, right? I don't claim to be amazing at much, but I'm okay in my lane. I'm happy in my lane. I feel fulfilled in what I've done with working with young people and seeing them fulfill their talent. But I'm very good at writing. I've been published in academic journals in the past. I can write well. My brother he ran Al Jazeera news station. My sister-in-law runs Bloomberg TV. And I think, well, let me show you what you can do, and I can write as well as them, right? It was a bit of a competition as a kid thing. What can you do? I'm really good at writing. So I'm doing an event at Millennium Point on the 11th of November. If you want to hear more about what we're doing, come along to that. It's free for businesses, so please do come along. The Millennium Point, ask me, and I'll send the link out through Will to talk more about this. But this tool enables you not to do one draft or give you an idea of a prompt draft. You do your draft, and it can tweak it per paragraph, make suggestions for you, and guess what? It's better than mine. I've been writing trip letters for 25 years. I've taken kids to India, South Africa, Canada, Northern Ireland. I'm an expert at writing letters about trips and experiences. It was better than me, and you know what? Even though I've been studying AI and know it, when it actually hits your sector and what you're expert in, it really hurts. It really hurts. So what's my first skill? Upskilling yourself, being conscious of, being cognizant of the strengths and limitations of these tools. Let me show you now what one person can do with these tools in 1 hour.
I built this little app called Hermes. Basically, if I'm reading a book and I have any kind of question about it, I just take a picture of it and send it to Hermes, and Hermes will restate whatever's in the book in plain terms, and then it'll tell me things I might want to know about it, like whether the science is up to date, or what other perspectives I might be missing are, or what the underlying themes might be that I might have missed. It turns into this like intellectual companion. And the coolest part about this is I built Hermes myself, and I did it in less than an hour with Cursor and OpenAI's new model O1. And I just can't tell you how incredible that is. Because even like 2 or 3 years ago, this would have been completely impossible. Literally teams of engineers working together for years would not have been able to do what I just did in an hour myself.
Okay, so super quickly. Next one is when you upskill yourself, as I demonstrated with Canvas, and it blasted me away. My first draft, I have the first draft, I have the other iteration. I'm going, this isn't great. This isn't good. One of my small areas of expertise has been surpassed. So what it requires next is resilience. Now, resilience is not David Goggins doing another marathon. It's really not. What resilience really is overcoming and keeping going when you've been knocked back many, many times. And it's going to require resilience for us to confront the technologies of AI and the capabilities, believe you me. Second to last, it's also important to, I call it the digital disconnect, which means you have to accept and celebrate our humanity, our frailties, our uniqueness. It can be rock climbing. For me, it's walking with my dog in the hills. I make sure that I don't listen to another podcast. I make sure my phone is in the car. The digital disconnect is going to be crucial for you. Quick challenge. Just forgive me this one. Give me 2 more minutes. Quick challenge, students. Please open up your mobile phone. Go to settings and go to your usage for the week. Your daily usage. This will be revealing to teachers, non-teachers, to adults in the room. If you don't work with students like I've done for years, you will be surprised at the amount of total average hours that they use. Okay, go to your settings. Daily use, don't lie, be honest. If it's over 6 hours a day, please put your hand up, students. If your social media use on your settings, on your phone, is more than 6 hours, put your hands up, please. They're still looking. They're still looking. I do these surveys all the time. It's way above that. It's way above that. You need to switch off those machines. Finally, human intelligence, to finish my final slide. You're laughing. Come on, some of them are quite high. And then you drill down into which particular apps is taking your time. Time stealers at times, aren't they? Rabbit holes, addictive. That is the basic algorithm and nothing compared to what is coming. And you're already hooked. Finally, Mo Gaudat, who's a brilliant author. He used to be the Google X CBO, or Chief Business Officer of Google X. He says what we're seeing now is 6 years behind what's in the labs. 6 years behind what's in the labs. He knows. And he says, ultimately, in the longer term, the 20-year horizon, I mean, Geoffrey Hinton, if you go and look up what Geoffrey Hinton, the recent Nobel Prize for Physics, or Demis Hassabis, recent biology Nobel Peace Prize this week, have been telling you, you're going to see what's going to be happening. Go and look up their quotes. So actually, in the long term, though I've been banging about AI, I don't love AI, I love HI. And HI is going to be the most important thing. The biggest skill will be your human connection. Thank you very much.